you were gonna click that fast. You were talking about food, and then we out here live.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I'm gonna click when you come on. I ain't talked to you in a minute. So what's going on? It's been a
Nothing
while.
much. Nothing much. I just wanted to check in with you and see how you're doing, and say hi to your followers as well.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, Sister Maryan has been on the show before. If you guys go look
Hey,
in, in the history, we had a good conversation. We were supposed to do a part two, but Sister Maryan got busy. She's flying all over the world on private jets and signing
He's just bigging me
deals.
up right now. I was
You know,
dying in school.
yeah. Well, not some of the pictures on Instagram look like you moving and shaking now.
I mean, you gotta shuck and jive. The feds watching.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I get you. I
Can't
get
let
you.
them know where we at.
Nah, you can't do that. Can't do that. So how everything going ducking this coronavirus?
Oh man, it's going all right so far. On my end, I'm just working from home, and also it's a good time right now to start thinking about what I want to do in terms of content and comedy and whatnot. How
Oh,
about you?
okay. Okay. I'm getting real motivated during this coronavirus situation. I'm figuring out like some game plans. I'm
Hmm.
executing some things in the background. So I really think 2020 actually going to be a good thing, believe it or not. I'm just a lot of things I have going on. I won't say publicly, but 2020 going to be a good thing, I believe.
Okay, I hope that everything is good, and you're safe and your family's good and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah, yeah, yeah. How's your family?
Everyone is good. I mean, my mom and my two sisters work outside, so they're kind of like what they're now calling first respondents. But I mean, I put it in quotes because I feel like this situation has opened the eyes of people that live in the West. When you come from, like really impoverished communities and just like especially from an immigrant perspective, like you got to be grateful for any job that you have. You can't just start now realizing that cashiers and janitors are real people. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
yeah, everyone is good. My mom works at a grocery store, and my two sisters are healthcare providers.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I have family members that's in healthcare. My oldest daughter, is like, "Hey, I just got a job because she working at the movie theater and she basically can't work, and so
Oh man.
she's in college. So she said, "Hey, they hired me at Walmart to do a personal shopper." I'm like,
Hmm.
I'll say that's good. I'll say, but please be careful,
Yeah.
please.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel really bad for mainly what do you call it, the elders and whatnot, and just like I live right by a home care, so anytime I see like I live by a senior citizen residence, and I see like the old people coming out, and they're like really really old too, and they're just by themselves looking around, and I'm just like, man, I just wish like like we could interact, but I'm more harmful to them because I could get them sick.
Right, right, right. It's what do you think about Trump talking about opening up the country by the May the 1st?
Now he on some clown stuff. He ain't about to do that. What state?
Hey, Trump losing money. Trump is losing money with this thing. He lost
Of
$1 billion,
course.
so he ready to get this thing back open.
I mean, at the end of the day, like one thing that I've noticed about Republicans in general is they're all about money. And one thing they're gonna want to do is they can't afford to have a business shut down. So honestly, like I can't even go back to my office until May 4th, and then I heard some other places they're not opening up until the end of summer. So I don't really know what he's talking about. He's just like a mush mush. That's what Lovely
Mm.
T says, mush mouth.
Well, I'm in the middle with that because since I do understand a lot, business and running business, you can't shut everything down, and because
Hmm.
literally the country is going to tank if everything stays shut down. I mean, and I'm thinking also about the people at home. Like, what about the mom who was a waitress, right? And yes, the restaurants are open in
Yeah.
Texas, but it's only takeout or drive through. Well, that person's really not working. A lot of people been let go. They run limited staff. What about the people that work at like in hotels, like the Marriott? They got furloughed,
Hmm.
and so they're not getting anything. So I'm thinking about like those people as well. Because like basically your job is a luxury because according to the research, 73% of black people can't work from home. So you one of the lucky ones that can,
I
but the
know.
majority can't.
Right, right. I mean, I feel like just as a black person living in America, I've always, the older I get, the more challenges comes my way, and the more like sometimes guilty I just feel for the things that I've been blessed with. I definitely understand how working from home is a blessing. I mean, I live at home with my two sisters and my mom, and they don't have that luxury. And also, I heard how the COVID situation has been impacting African American communities like Milwaukee, Chicago. I mean, like, and I don't know how real that is either, because there is a video that Brother Reza Islam he posted of a woman that checked in a hospital and she didn't have any of the symptoms of COVID. All she said was that she couldn't, like, she was just coughing a little bit, and the doctor wrote COVID-19 as a
Yeah, I
symptom.
saw that
So
video.
yeah, I don't really know how they're documenting everything. I don't know. It's just really scary times right now. I can't trust
Yeah,
anyone. The
this is why
government,
black.
I'm not trusting the doctors, none of that.
Yeah, well, this is why black folks have a history of not trusting the medical profession. That's why black people go
Right on.
with sicknesses undiagnosed because of the history of them literally with medical racism, medical apartheid that's happened to us, and so many medical experiments has been done. They have injected things on us. They have infected our neighborhoods with things. I was reading at one time how they infected the black community with yellow fever just to see what it would do. I mean, it's so many things they have done to us. That's why black people don't want to go. And then that video of that sister, right, makes it even worse. They say, see, this is why we don't trust them. That's why,
Yep.
for me, I prefer a black physician because, based on the research, white physicians and even Asian ones have a bias toward black people.
Of course. Of course. One of my aunts, well, she's a family friend, but I call her aunt out of respect, but she was at a local hospital here in downtown called HCMC, and she has, I believe, high blood pressure or diabetes, and this Asian doctor ended up amputating her wrong leg. And he wasn't supposed to amputate her leg. He was only supposed to amputate her foot. And she agreed to that because, like, of the situation with her diabetes. And he ended up chopping off the wrong entire leg, like the entire leg all the way up to here.
Oh, wow.
So, and the hospital did not fire him. And then when, in communities where you don't have a lot of resources and not a lot of money, like you can't afford a lawyer, you don't really know the law. The law was meant to be confusing. So it's just, it really breaks my heart because sometimes I'm like, I went to school, I'm educated and whatnot. And I wish I could do more for people that are impacted by situations like that. But I don't know. The only way that we could do is just bring awareness to situations like that and call it out, because that dude, like, she ended up, once she woke up and realized what he did, she brought him closer and then she beat the shit out of him. She beat him up.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, my God. But, there's been black folks that went in the hospitals with a cough and didn't come out the hospital saying he just had a cough. Why he died,
Yeah, a cough.
They've taken black people's organs. They've done all kinds of things to black people, so that's why a lot of black people don't. This is why I'm a firm believer, and I'm definitely preaching prevention, because the less you expose to these people, the better for us. You understand? And if you do have to go to the medical industry, I'm a firm believer of, hey, if I got to drive somewhere or fly somewhere for a good, great black doctor is highly recommended, I'm willing to do it at this point because I don't trust these people. Same thing like with education. I don't trust these people. That's why I have my
Yeah.
daughter at a Nation of Islam school because I don't want my daughter around these people educating her.
Yep. Okay, for those, like, what would you recommend we go if we do have, like, illnesses? Like, where can we get access to healthcare that's adequate?
I would say try to see who are the black physicians in your area, and see how if they're good or not or whatever. And if
Yeah.
no, I'm not saying every doctor is bad because we have one doctor that's been awesome from day one. It's a Filipino doctor that I have, Dr. Sim.
Yeah.
She's been like, don't take that vaccination, not that vaccination, not that one, this one. The rest of
Yeah.
them, that's trash. Like that sort of thing. Like you like doctors to tell you what vaccinations, if you're going to take them, right? Which ones to take. And then she always said, you never go take vaccinations like let somebody just stick your child with a bunch of vaccinations in a row. She'll say, look, do one, come back a month later, do another one, come back a month later. You know, that's the way that she would, say. So I'm not saying every doctor is going to be racist toward us. No, but what I'm saying is I'm a firm believer. Let's see if we can find someone in the community. And if not, then let's see if we can find someone outside the community. But preferably for me, I try to find, people that have some sort of melanin to them,
Yeah.
preferably. I'm gonna say the white doctor probably gonna be the last on my list, not the first on my list. Until a lot of black people they run to the white doctor because they feel that white people, are the best for everything, and we don't know nothing.
Yeah. I mean, the hard part about where I live is there is like not that much access to like doctors that are of color, but I mean, there's like a lot of like I'm starting to see now compared to like when I was a kid, Somali doctors now and people that are nurses and whatnot, but it's still a little bit hard to find like, for example, black therapists and just people in the community that are doing good. Like basically, I don't know, Minnesota is just really, really white. Let's just call it that. So, like I
Unfortunately
said,
for you.
I'm gonna
Unfortunately for you.
be in Texas hopefully in a couple of years, 2 years hopefully.
Well, if you come to a black area like say Houston, you got your Dallas, you got black people, you got New Orleans. I'll say this: you're gonna stay in the United States. This is my opinion. Stay in the
Mhm.
South. There's more of us in the South, and I could not be in a city or somewhere just literally white. I couldn't do it. I don't hate nobody, but I just know what I know. Those people, when there's more of them than me, they gonna try more things. Versus if we had a little bit more black people around.
I mean, I don't even know who's on live right now. Hopefully, people are some of my coworkers follow me on my IG. So, but we're just gonna keep it real. Any job I've ever had, I'm always the only one, and they always try to find a way to pick. Even now, pick at me on things that I just cannot control. Right? Like if I have to take a call for if there's a stand up early in the morning, which they have every day now. And I have to take a call and I can't be there. It's like my absence, they take notice in it, but then when I'm present, I'm invisible. So it's one of those things where I'm just like, am I here for your entertainment or are y'all just trying to like pick at me because you think that you can try me? Like, I
Let
don't
me ask
know.
you a question. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. You have any black men or at the job or come around your job?
Yes, there is one guy that, well, he's biracial, and then there's another guy that's Nigerian.
Okay, let me ask
And
you a question.
they're both on my team. That's the funny part.
Okay. Let me. I'm gonna lead up to something by asking this question. Have any of them like tried to show not to say you are, but tried to show interest with you in some sort of way, like make compliments to you or something like that? Let's say a compliment. You never had a compliment.
Never, never.
Okay. Well, let me throw that out. The women on your job, do they do? I'm talking about the ones that don't
I
have the
mean,
amount of
actually, I
melanin.
shouldn't say never. Sometimes there's one black guy that like says like, "Oh, you look nice," or "I like your shirt," or "I
Okay.
like your sleeves."
Did you know how I always say, did the female version of them folks, um, how did they hear that when that happened? When he gave you a compliment?
Um, that's a good question. You're talking about the Adan women?
Mzungu?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
happy you understand that.
Yeah, Mzungu, yeah.
Um, well, actually, I can't answer that. No,
Okay.
but it's funny because they all compliment me. The Adan women are always steady on my complexion, on the way I look, what I say,
Mm-hmm.
the way I talk. Not all the time, but like here and there. And it's just interesting that when it comes to my work, though, right? they don't really try to compliment that, but they'll compliment anything else. Like I did a Black History Month, the first ever at my job, and I hosted a panel, brought some educated brothers on the stage from all walks of life, and they just kind of were all like, yeah, oh my God, that guy was cute, or wow, like you did such a great job. The most comment that I can't even consider this a compliment because I don't know how many times I have to say that I was born in America, but the compliment that I always get, to them it's a compliment, to me it's just like, dude, like you dumb. You're so well spoken. You're so
that is the most racist comment ever somebody can tell
They
you.
don't know. They don't understand it though. They don't think that.
You know how you flip that? You know how you flip that? The next time, okay, whoever did that to you, one day you hear them talking, walk up to them and say, "Oh, you're so well spoken. Oh my God, you're well spoken. I can't believe how well spoken you are." Do it to them. Watch their faces. Seriously, what they do to you, do it back to them. They start freaking out like, huh? Why is she telling me that? I'm telling you, do it.
Yeah.
You're so articulate, like the person say.
To be honest, I let it slide because they are very sensitive. I'm a very sensitive person. I'm very aware of my surroundings, but they're sensitive in a negative way. So if I were to ever say that or call them out on that, it wouldn't be good. So I always stick to the comedy side of things, because there's always the truth hidden in comedy. So I let them go just a little extra tad bit, a little far. So as soon as I hear them say something like, wow, right when they say the English is good, that's when I'm like, oh, really? You think my English is good? And they don't even know what they're talking about. They're like, wait, how did you do that? How did I do? Eh? What's going on? No. You want the English or you want the Somali accent? Because I can do both.
I gave her the license, right?
Uh-huh.
And I put my hand back on the steering wheel. And so my little girl was in the back and I was taking her to school. And she was like, oh, you can cut your truck on. I'm like, nah, it's okay. I'm not going to do that. And she's like, yeah, go ahead. It's no problem. I ain't got no issue with you. Just turn your truck on. So, no, I'll keep my hands right here. I'll wait till you get back. And then she was like, I'm not going to do you anything. I mean, you act like I'm about to do you something. I'm like, I didn't accuse you of anything, man. Didn't accuse you. I said, I'm going to wait for you to come back.
Wow. She's trying to throw you off.
Yeah. So she went, she come back, gave me a ticket. Still kept my hand on the steering wheel the whole time. I got it right there. I took one hand, took the ticket, signed it, did everything I had to do, took it, and that's it. Because I understand, as a black man in America, they would kill me right in front of my 5-year-old little girl. And don't think nothing of it. Say, oh, he flinched. Oh, I thought he had a gun. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so it's like, and at that moment, I was like, I told my wife about it. She's like, oh, my God, And I make sure to keep life insurance. That's something I make sure to keep because our life ain't guaranteed to none of us. You know what I'm saying? How many times like Eric Garner, when I left outside his house, he didn't think that was going to happen to him or Trayvon Martin or Michael Brown or anybody, Rakia, Boyd or different people like that. You know what I'm saying?
Eric Garner.
Yeah, Corin Gaines, so many people, Sandra Bland, so many people, has died at the hands of police or something crazy in jail. So yeah, but I hate to hear you went through that. What makes me mad also about your situation is that, okay, why am I feel threatened by a woman that's 5'2", just as a man? Unless you quick with the Glock. That's different. Maybe you are. I don't know.
He asked me if I was carrying anything too, and if I had any weapons in the car. And I looked at him and I laughed. I said, "Go fucking check for yourself and make it quick."
You never tell him to check. Never.
No, he was already in there anyways. He had to. He told me he has to because the car's stolen. He already, from the very beginning, no one came up to us like civil human beings. Everybody had their guns out. So from the jump, this car was stolen. And apparently it happens all the time, and their license plate reader calls cars out. And another thing they said was, after, stick around in the city for a little bit, go get something to eat, because the DMV is taking this license plate out of the system in an hour. and your car then will be fine. Otherwise, another police officer is going to do the same thing. And I just looked at him and I was like, yeah. And once we got in the car, I told my uncle, let's get the hell out of here. Hurry up. Let's go back on the regular road, because this is why when I'm traveling to cities, I mean, my family's from San Diego, so I know San Diego's like my second home. I know where to go and whatnot. But when I'm traveling to a state usually, or any place, I take paths that I'm familiar with, like the states that I've already attended. So like if I'm going to, let's say I'm driving to you, let's say I'm going to Texas, I'm not leaving 35W. We're just going to stick on the same road because this is public. This is an interstate. Nothing's going to happen to me here. I know 35W because I could always make a U-turn and go back up to Minneapolis. But, you know, he just wanted to do something nice for me and just show me, you know, the coast. And I'm just like, we're not doing that anymore. No, nothing. Don't show me a coast. Don't show me. I'd rather go to the hood before I go to a coast.
See, that's a problem. And I'm going to tell you a problem. Okay, you're an American citizen. If you want to just drive down and see the coast, it should be nothing wrong with that. You're not committing a crime. And I know a lot of black people don't move around because of traumatizing experiences like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why, you know, people get so frustrated with me and say, oh, you talk about Africa so much. Because when I've been there, I have not had even the police even look at me funny. Matter of fact, last time I was at the police was laughing with me talking about Tupac when I was in Nairobi. You know what I'm saying? And just having a long conversation with me. So versus here, I wouldn't talk to none of them cops, not even the black ones half the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's like,
are the worst.
Sometimes they can.
Most of the time.
But then I know some that's been real cool with me, and I'm saying that I've met, you know, personally.
They're real cool because they know you have a big platform and you could just call them out.
It could be that. It couldn't be that. I don't know. The cops that I did run into, they were cool with me, you know. And I think no, I never had no white cops. Like no, I don't like police at all. The less we talk, the better.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like it is what it is. I understand law enforcement is still always going to be around. There's still going to be people that need jobs. There's still going to be people that are going to join the police system and whatnot. There's still going to be people, brothers and sisters, going to jail while they're innocent. There's still going to be a lot of unequal justice, because let's just be real, right? I'm just going to keep it 100. The people I know that are black, even, you know, the ones from my own community here, they go into law enforcement because it's, you know, the only thing they know how to do. You know, that's the only thing they think in their mind, that it doesn't really require much like math and science and thinking. So, I'm a man. I think I could actually use my body to try to, you know, get fit and be all macho. And they're usually guys that never came from powerless situations and homes where women were dominant, and, you know, they got to flex their masculinity in some ways. So that's the only reason why I look at the brothers and I'm just like, what's up, brother? Yep, I know why you a cop. Because look what they did to Muhammad. Officer Muhammad.
I'm about to mention him. I'm about to say Muhammad Noor. Ask him about that. I love
telling the Somali community about him, because even when he was on the stands, he said, I wish I never became a police officer. Listen, brothers, there are other jobs that you can flex your masculinity in. You'll always be appreciated. Don't be afraid of the Adan women. I know a lot of Adan women that like to act like they're men nowadays, and this whole femininity crap, or feminism, I meant to say, not femininity. I know that men are kind of intimidated by that nowadays, but don't be afraid. Y'all are still welcome to join other, careers that are out there. Be a vet tech. I don't know, be something else. Don't try to just think that the only easy thing you could do is become a cop. That's not the best way. That's not the only option. There's other things out there. You could even start your own business. You could even start your own YouTube channel. You could do something that's better than being a cop. I just feel like those that become cops, they just becoming cops because they just don't have nothing better to do, and they think that they're getting power, and they're not. Anywho, that's Maryan's opinion, and I'm not right, I'm not wrong. That's what I say to people that are sensitive as hell, because in this era, people are just so damn sensitive. They can't take other people's opinions.
Yeah, I call it the kindergarten generation. You know, they're like kindergarten children. And I probably wouldn't even say kindergarten because, you know, My 5-year-old
Kindergarten.
don't act
Don't
like that.
disrespect the kindergartens.
Yeah, I know. I
They're
said my
smarter.
5-year-old don't even act like that. I mean, it's just it's oh my god. It's I don't any person who's considered a good cop, they never stayed. I've
No, there's
always
no
said
such
that.
thing as a good cop. I don't care what. There are good people. The cops are still people, but there is not. As soon as you put on that uniform, it is what it is. You are
Right.
part of the union. It's like when I'm like a KKK member. You could be shopping at Target. You would never know a KKK member is a KKK member unless they're wearing the cloak and the hat, right? So when I see the KKK member wearing the cloak and the hat, I mean, I've never seen any of them, but I'm just saying, if I see one, I know they're part of that establishment, so I got to be careful. But when they're not wearing it, they're just people, right? So that's why I'm saying that you put on that uniform. If you're a black person, there really shouldn't be anything that you should be proud about. There shouldn't be, and this is not me saying that black cops don't get killed, or cops don't get killed, or blue lives don't matter. I don't care. All I'm saying is that you're still a human being, and there are other things out there that you can do that are so much better than risking your life every day. I'm going to use that excuse back at y'all. You're risking your life every day, putting yourself in a position where even your own partner could kill you. And that's happened a lot. That's happened a lot.
Right. Yeah, because I've covered stories where you had cops expose the corruption, and they left them set them up to get killed, or the death threats to other cops who's trying to do the right thing. So and I've been told many times, behind the scenes, who's the other cop I had come on my show from the NYPD, how he was putting out all this, and he said what they do is like you got a day shift job, they put you on night shift, like straight night, so you can't spend time with your family. They'll put you in the worst neighborhoods, just by yourself, hoping that you get killed. You know what I'm saying? That you don't get promotions, or they try to demote you. And that cop had told me on the show that they have to target young black men from the ages of 14 to 25. That's what they
Yep.
target.
They target what?
Huh?
What did they target?
Young black men from the ages of 14 to 25.
To try to harass?
Harass, arrest, whatever they do.
Well, you do
That's the
know
target.
they also make young kids older than what they really are. Like,
Of course.
Mayor Rice, 12-year-old, they thought he was like 20-something.
Yeah, they say here. This is the thing about white supremacy: a black boy is a man, and a black man is a boy. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that is crazy. Somebody in the comments, I agree, said that black cops who are on code are fine. We need them in black hoods to watch over their people. But unfortunately, most black cops compromise themselves in order to fit into the police union. That's on point. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's true. If I wish the police was like how it was at first when black cops started. Well, cops started when they black cops are government police force. They only put them in black neighborhoods. And that's all the black cops did was patrol black neighborhoods. They couldn't arrest no white people at all. But the
Yeah.
only thing they could do is deal with black people. I wish they had it like that. White cops with white neighborhoods, black cops with black neighborhoods, Hispanic cops with Hispanics, Asians with Asians. And you will cut out all this racism right then and there. At least if the cop is doing something, it ain't because of your color.
Yeah.
It's because he's just a prick or he's just corrupt or whatever he or she is doing. But I said that in the video. Well, why are you saying that? That's kind of racist to say that. I say, no, it's not. Because black cops know black people. So it'd be better for them to patrol black people.
Do you know why that sounds racist? Because people don't want they don't want what do you call it, segregation to come back. That's why, especially white people. They are afraid.
Yeah, say that. Yeah, say that.
That's
Not
the real
me.
truth. Imagine if there was segregation during this time. You know what I mean? And in the beginning, in the school system, we were taught that segregation was horrible and this is what happened and blah, blah, blah. But the older I get, and the people that I talk to as well, like the elders in the community, I'm like, wow, they actually were against like the division. And now I understand why. Because we do need spaces for us to thrive and to be able to own. Like, it's very sad not seeing mom and pop shops anymore, like them being taken over by corporations. And I don't know. There's just a lot of sadness happening. But I don't want to take too much of your time, Phil. You have some people on here that want to come on too.
Oh yeah, I see him. Like I said, yeah. Well, like I said, you know what? It's good to hear from you and that experience. I said, my Lord, but see, before you wrap up, there's some people that try to say, oh, well, black people from Africa or the Caribbean, they don't be dealing with these issues, but you just said it right then and there that look what happened to me. I'm a Negro just like the rest of you.
No, sadly, it happens, and the only reason why people don't hear about it is because of there's so many different situations. Either there's a cultural barrier, a language barrier, or just a resource issue. Like, for example, what I just did right now, being vulnerable on this live and sharing with y'all like what happened, I haven't even really told my family that, because like when something extreme happens to you, we're told to cover it up, be silent, like don't talk about it, just live past it, like don't worry, karma's gonna come get them. I'm a firm believer in all of that. Yes, karma is gonna come get them. But where I'm different is that I feel like if I don't talk about, at least if I don't share my experience with people, that they won't know that situations like that do happen to people in my community as well. And shoot, there's no difference. I might be wearing a hijab right now, but I swear to God, my brothers that live over in Cedar, the ones that live in North Minneapolis, we all blend in. The brothers look just like African-American brothers too. So it's just, and they're getting stopped too. They honestly, it's really, really sad what's happening. I don't know if I just have, feel like, I know this sounds a little crazy. I might be saying too much right now, but I don't even know if I really want to live here anymore. I really I'm strongly considering moving out of this country. I don't believe in politics anymore. Bernie, he dropped out. I don't care about Republican, Democrat, none of that. I feel like it's all bullshit. I'm not going to also believe, I don't know who's on this live, so I don't want to say too much, but I also do not care if they try to put somebody that looks just like me in office or try to represent my community, because hands down, that person that looks just like me and that's wearing a hijab, they're not working for me. They're not helping me. They're not trying to look out for the community. So that's not going to happen at the end of the day. And that's why I've just lost hope and I don't care anymore. I really don't. People don't like to hear that. You young people never vote. You young people aren't doing this. You should care. And then when they get really mad, they say, you should just go back to your country. Well, sadly, this is my country. And second of all, I would gladly, would you cut me a ticket? Cut me a one-way ticket, I will definitely go back to my country. I would. We don't have to deal with this type of level of dumbness. It's so dumb. This whole division.
Listen, I feel you. Well, my eyes got open when I went to Ethiopia and got off the plane. It's like my eyes, like, okay, I don't feel like that pressure, because when you leave the U.S., go to wherever, go to any African country you want to, go to Somalia, go wherever.
Yeah.
There's a certain stress that's on our shoulders in this country that you don't know that's there till you leave. And then when you leave and you feel that stress off your shoulders, you feel like you're free. And then when you come back to the U.S., you literally feel that oppressive spirit come right back on us. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like you. I'm like, look, I'm working on that. I'm working on my exit strategy too. Trust me, I'm not just talking to people. I'm working on it. Why you think I got people on the continent doing things
so
for
smart.
us?
You're so smart.
Because I just don't. This country, with the Chinese Wuhan virus that just happened, shows you this government is not competent. Okay, first and foremost, I don't know why black folks. Yeah, look, and you talk about them police. You never know. Them police could have got the coronavirus, and they would deserve it. The ones that messed with child. But I just believe Africa's the future. And I'm always the type of person that I want to move when the water's troubled. I don't want to wait till the ship is sinking, and then now I'm trying I need to get out of here. And that's what happens to a lot of black folk. We don't have what I was talking about, foresight. We always focus on right now. Like, no, you need to see where things are going.
That's me. That was me for a while until I graduated, and then I realized a lot of stuff. My eyes started opening, because when you get older, you gain some of us, we gain wisdom, we start learning more, we start experiencing different things. Like that experience I had in February, I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad it happened to me, because now I have something to tell my kids and in the future when I do have children. But I also have something that eventually I knew it was going to happen. And I just now know that it is going to motivate me more to get out, because otherwise I'm going to get locked up. I just know. So I just know.
Well, the education you have, right? When I watched that full interview with Akon, he said, whatever education, whatever you're doing here, go do it on the continent. He said within 5 years, you can have a Fortune 500 company. And Akon, I'll listen to somebody like him because he has the money to back it up, right? So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to take what I'm doing here and do it over there. Even my wife looked at the opportunity for, bakery and cake decorating. Like what she do, they don't really have too much of that. So that's like a lane. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
I would like, whatever country you want to go to. I'm not saying you have to go somewhere safe, of course. I wouldn't tell you go somewhere not safe. I know Somalia is, that's home, but if it's not safe, then you need to kind of rethink that.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of countries you can go to. Like I said, the whole Africa is yours. You don't have to go to
Yep.
one country. That's how I look at it.
Yep. My aunt moved back. She's a vegan as well, and she moved to Africa, Ethiopia specifically 2 years ago. That's where my mom's side of the family is from. And my dad's side, they live in Kenya. So it's one of those things, like me and my other uncle, the one that got pulled over, we looked at each other that night and we're like, this is not life. Like, we have to start thinking about businesses in Africa. Like, we're thinking about opening a business center in Nairobi. That's where his family lives. And I think just, again, it's that poverty mindset, right? Like, when you grow up in poverty, what I realized about the system in America is, if you're a Black person, you grew up in poverty, and you never had more role models, and you never really had inspiration, like people to look up to, and the resources, access to it, it's really challenging. Because I asked my uncle straight up, I didn't care. I was like, they're like, why is it that, on my dad's side of the family, I'm trying to get to know all of them. So I'm like, why is it that there's so many men on my dad's side of the family? All y'all, you guys are all brothers, cousins, but y'all don't have nothing for yourself. Y'all all kind of like live in poverty a little bit. One of y'all made it, but not all of you guys. Your family back home is struggling. They need you. Why is it that y'all have been here for like 25, 26 years and you're still like this? Like, just kind of living in, Section 8 or whatever it is. And I just hate it. Because sometimes, like, it's easy. The oppressor, they want to blame, issue. And I swear to God, it was so easy for me to pick the blame and be like, it's your fault for why you are where you are. But in reality, I had to really think about it. I'm like, I had the privilege to go to school, and, if I didn't push myself hard because I know that I didn't come from nothing, if I didn't start a foundation, I know that I would end up in the same situation. So, when I told him that and made him open I listened to his story and his answer back, he just basically told me, like, it's just really hard out here. I'm hustling. I have so many ideas, but it's hard to organize within the family themselves too. Like, not a lot of people are trying to share, like, collect money. And that's another issue in the Black community I've realized is, like, when we get a paycheck, we want to just keep it all for ourselves instead of, like, dividing it up, or, who's trying to start a business. It literally takes $200. Just put all your money together. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Because as Black men, this country is definitely this country is against the Black man and Black woman, no matter where you come from. But it's really has a hard on for Black men, okay? And you really have to really fight and have a warrior spirit to make it as a Black man in America. It's so easy to get caught up on the disadvantage that we have as Black men. But at the same time, I'm like, look, we are Black men. We are the original man. So we
Right.
can fight through anything. We are
But
stronger
also
than.
going back to just the investment though. Why is it so hard for us to invest in each other and to
Self hate. And look, self hate is on the continent too. You get what I'm saying? You don't like this person because they this tribe. Oh, you from East Africa.
Yeah.
I don't like you. You from West Africa. I don't like you. It's self hate. We all, at the end of the day, the whole world look at us as one global Negro. Okay, no matter what language you speak, no matter where you come from, where you wear hijab, where you wear kente cloths, where you wear a pair of Jordans, whether you are in a Caribbean, festival gear. It don't matter where we come from. We all one global Negro. And until black folks understand that and
Yeah.
join together as one that's why my focus is joining all of us together, because that's
Yep.
how white supremacy and Asian Chinese supremacy too try to group us as we just one Negro that they want to take advantage of. So
Right.
let's get together, pool all our resources together. Like I say, you got your education and what you have it in. I have my things that I have. When we come together, then we a lot better than being apart. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how I think. And it's simple, really, to come together. But black folk, they'll come together to go to the white man church. That's why I love these churches shut down right now. I love it. That's been a blessing for black America, that these churches are shut down. Oh, it's a blessing. They're saving their money, too. Not giving their money to the Creflo Dollar and Kenneth Copeland and the rest of them. I love it.
Do you think that one day the black church will come back to life the way it used to be?
In this society, no. No. Mm-mm. No. They too compromised. Once you brought in the 501c3, see, they didn't have the 501c3 in Martin Luther King's time. Once they brought that in, it compromised them.
Once they turned the church into a business.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Man.
Churches, look, these churches are crying that they're not making no money right now. Supposedly, if you're a man or woman of God, right, you're supposed to be able to know what's going on with coronavirus, how to speak on it, how to help the people, even to go to help heal the people, right? If you're talking with God, it's showing none of these preachers are talking with God at all. None of them are. I don't see these preachers, mega preachers in the hospitals, talking about praying with people and they getting healed. Or they ain't doing nothing but playing games. That's why, listen, my degree is in theology. I know exactly what they teach. I know what they do and how they do it and why corrupt it is.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, no, they can close all them churches. Do it virtual.
Yep. Okay. Well, Brother Phil, it's always a pleasure talking to you.
Oh, it's good to talk to you, sis. Well, I'm glad you're still here with us in 2020.
Yes, absolutely. Me too. And hopefully we can record that, second part to our interview from almost, was it 3 years ago now? Wow.
1, 2, 3. I don't know, but sure, it ain't nothing but a thing. Like I said, if you got time, I got time over the weekend. You let me know.
All right, bet. We can maybe ask some questions on your channel or something like that. Or, ask the audience what questions they might want to have before the live starts or something.
Okay, yeah, we can definitely work. So, okay, you want to do it live? Okay, well, just let me know, like I said, because I can make some time for you over the weekend.
All right, sounds
good.
Well,
no, so Sunday, I know my little girl gonna do a little thing because with the kids, but yeah, Friday, yeah, let me know over the weekend, even Monday. From Friday to Monday.
Look, Phil, look. We ain't going nowhere. I got you.
You got time? Yeah. But just let me know. Yeah.
All right. I appreciate you, and I appreciate everyone on this chat today. And I really want to say, keep it up, keep everything up that you're doing, and you're literally so important for this community. And I love your work, and I'm always going to support you.
All right. Well, you're important too. We all important. We all doing our thing. Stay blessed, sis.
Yes, you too.